I was watching the television news when I saw this odd guy with tiny hands, ranting, "Come on, Donald! This is ridiculous! This is nuts! This is insane!" The things he was saying were completely crazy, totally absurd. He shouldn't even be speaking like that. Honestly, he's out of his mind. As Colin Powell put it best, he's a national disaster, an embarrassment to this country. It infuriates me that we've reached this point, that this fool, this absolute bozo has made it this far. He talks about how he wants to punch people in the face. Well, I'd love to punch him in the face. He actually said that about someone, that he wanted to hit them. How dare he say that to a crowd? How dare he say the things he does? Of course, I want to punch him too. Robert De Niro has unleashed yet another anti-Trump rant, and shocker, people are losing it. The Oscar winner has been roasting Trump harder than a Thanksgiving turkey for years. But this time, the fire's raging. What did he say? Who's furious? And is Trump already drafting an all-caps comeback? Buckle up, because this Hollywood versus MAGA saga is getting wild. This whole situation is just ridiculous. As everyone says, it's just Trump, driven by his massive ego, demanding a wall. He's being stubborn, refusing to back down. It's all nonsense. What's wrong with him? That's the real question. We need to get rid of him. But before we continue, we'd love for you to hit that subscribe button. If you're enjoying this video, just tap that button. We appreciate you. Now let's get back to it. When it comes to Donald Trump, Robert De Niro doesn't just speak his mind. He unloads, like a Hollywood action scene. No filter, no hesitation, and definitely no apologies. If celebrity roasting were a sport, Niro wouldn't just have the gold medal. He'd own the entire podium, delivering acceptance speeches while still throwing punches at Trump. "I hate bullies," he said. "Thugs who use their strength to push others around. They think they can achieve power and keep it by intimidating people. Sadly, sometimes it works, but most of the time it doesn't. And now we have Trump. He's all about intimidation and retribution. He wants to prosecute people, jail women for having abortions, take away Medicare and Social Security, deport people, and send the military after anyone who defies him. This kind of expletive works on MAGA politicians, who are terrified of losing power. They're so scared of him, they've got their heads so far up his ass, and now they're trying to intimidate us. We won't let that happen. Not for a minute, not for a second. We need to show them our power and vote every single one of them out. The way to take down a bully? Look him straight in the eye and watch him squirm. De Niro's takedowns have been so relentless, you'd think he moonlights as a stand-up comic with a personal Trump vendetta. Over the years, he's called him a mutt, a fool, and, in a moment of cinematic glory, a total loser. Somewhere in Mar-a-Lago, there's probably a dartboard with De Niro's face on it, assuming Trump even knows how darts work. Give him a chance. "Why won't you give the president a chance?" they asked. De Niro's response? "You're right. That's what I said right after he was elected. Give him a chance. I give everyone the benefit of the doubt. But this guy, he's proven himself to be a total loser." De Niro didn't just wake up one morning and decide to go full rage mode. No, this has been simmering for years. Like a slow-burn Scorsese thriller, where you know something explosive is coming but you just don't know when. Back in 2016, when Trump was still just a reality TV star dabbling in politics, De Niro had already launched his first attack, calling him blatantly stupid and even saying he'd love to punch him in the face. Let's be honest, that clip is probably someone's lock screen. Then Trump actually won. And instead of backing down, De Niro doubled down. Hard. By 2018, he was in full swing. I watched him last night. I truly believe he may be punch drunk. Trump, never one to let an insult slide, fired back on Truth Social. Robert De Niro, whose acting talents have greatly diminished along with his reputation, must even use a teleprompter for his foul and disgusting language. So disrespectful to our country. When asked if that was true, if he actually needed a teleprompter to speak about Trump, De Niro laughed it off. "He's so stupid," he said. By 2018, De Niro had officially entered his I don't care era. And it doesn't look like he's stopping anytime soon. Cancel me if you want, but Faze walked onto the Tony Award stage like he was about to deliver the most dramatic soliloquy of his career. Instead, he just declared, "Censored Trump." No build-up, no monologue, just 2 words and a mic drop. The crowd erupted in applause like he had just hit a buzzer beater in the NBA Finals. Meanwhile, at Fox News headquarters, alarms were probably blaring. The clip went viral instantly. News stations scrambled to censor it, and Twitter turned into an all-out war zone. Somewhere Trump was likely watching, shouting, "Sad," at his TV while eating a well-done steak drowned in ketchup. Then came Robert De Niro. "I'm going to say one thing. Censored Trump," he declared. But De Niro wasn't done. Over the next few years, he turned every talk show, award ceremony, and public appearance into a full-scale Trump roast. He called him a wannabe gangster. A strong insult coming from a guy who's played more mobsters than the FBI has files. A clown, a dictator in training. His remarks weren't so much political analysis as they were what happens when you give an Oscar-winning actor a microphone with 0 filter. The world watched, half in shock, half in admiration, as Dutzy. Niro kept raising the stakes. In one interview, he was asked, "Why do you think people respond so much to the gangster genre?" His response, "People like the outlaw type, except now we've got a wannabe gangster in the White House." He continued, comparing Trump to a made man who wasn't actually made. Then, as only De Niro could, he dubbed him a disappointed Dunsky. Butchered mafia-style way of calling someone a failed Don. Fast forward to his latest public appearance. Whether it was an interview, an award show, or him yelling from his balcony like a Shakespearean king, De Niro delivered another fiery anti-Trump speech, dressed in a perfectly tailored suit, radiating peak De Niro intensity. He tore into Trump once again, as if it were his personal duty. This wasn't just another Trump is bad moment. It was a full-scale theatrical performance, dripping with the kind of energy only a guy who has spent decades perfecting mob boss monologues could bring. He called Trump the greatest threat to democracy since, well, Trump's last scandal. He mocked his endless legal troubles, questioned his intelligence, or lack thereof, and probably threw in a jab about Trump's awkward 2-handed water drinking technique. The audience was hooked. Cameras flashed. Journalists scribbled furiously. Somewhere, a Fox News producer was already drafting a segment titled, "Hollywood Elite Strikes Again." De Niro didn't hold back. "I don't mean to scare you. No, actually, maybe I do. If Trump returns to the White House, you can kiss your freedoms goodbye. Elections? Forget about it. That's over. Done. If he gets in, I guarantee you he will never leave. Never." And then came the backlash. Social media exploded. MAGA supporters called for De Niro to be canceled, deported, or, if they had their way, locked up for disrespecting the presidency. Which, last we checked, isn't a crime. But give it time. Some Trump fans even theorized that De Niro was just bitter because Trump never landed a role in a Scorsese film. Meanwhile, liberals hailed De Niro as a national treasure, probably photoshopping his face onto Mount Rushmore before the night was over. At this point, De Niro versus Trump is less of a feud and more of a long-running HBO drama with no final season in sight. And if history has taught us anything, we're just one award show or late-night interview away from the next episode. Trump, of course, couldn't resist firing back. Robert De Niro is a fool, a broken-down fool. He got MAGA'd yesterday. He got a big dose of it. And with that, the saga continues. Cancel me if you want, but Faze walked onto the Tony Award stage like he was about to deliver the most dramatic soliloquy of his career. Instead, he just declared, "Censored Trump." No build-up, no monologue, just 2 words and a mic drop. The crowd erupted in applause like he had just hit a buzzer beater in the NBA Finals. Meanwhile, at Fox News headquarters, alarms were probably blaring. The clip went viral instantly. News stations scrambled to censor it, and Twitter turned into an all-out war zone. Somewhere Trump was likely watching, shouting, "Sad," at his TV while eating a well-done steak drowned in ketchup. Then came Robert De Niro. "I'm going to say one thing, censored Trump," he declared. But De Niro wasn't done. Over the next few years, he turned every talk show, award ceremony, and public appearance into a full-scale Trump roast. He called him a wannabe gangster, a strong insult coming from a guy who's played more mobsters than the FBI has files. A clown, a dictator in training. His remarks weren't so much political analysis as they were what happens when you give an Oscar-winning actor a microphone with zero filter. The world watched, half in shock, half in admiration, as Dutzy. Niro kept raising the stakes. Undiagnosed Trump derangement syndrome got the best of him, and even the liberal media was embarrassed. This was a bad idea. This entire thing was not a great idea. Stay away from celebrities. I just don't think it helps. In fact, it often backfires in a weird way. Oh, those liberal Hollywood elites, well-intentioned as they may be. Robert De Niro meant well, but staying away from the courthouse would have been the best move. The internet did what it does best, erupt. Like a soda bottle shaken one too many times. Within seconds, chaos unfolded. People tossed around reactions like contestants in a reality TV challenge. The left? They treated it like the most groundbreaking speech since the Gettysburg Address. "We need this on a t-shirt. Stat!" Meanwhile, the right reacted as if someone had insulted their grandma's homemade apple pie while kicking over their backyard Trump shrine. Nobody has worse Trump derangement syndrome than Robert De Niro. This is peak derangement. Then came the theatrics. De Niro, ever the actor, drew historical parallels that left some people scratching their heads. The idea that I'd be bullied at my age by someone like this? Not happening. People need to stand up, or else we're going to find ourselves in a terrifying situation. He invoked the struggles of European Jews fleeing the Nazis, warning that history might be repeating itself. The internet, of course, pounced. Memes flooded in at lightning speed. One tweet declared, "Give this man another Oscar just for speaking the truth." Another praised his Godfather references, photoshopping him into iconic mob movie scenes. I tried to get out, but the Trump stuff pulled me back in. Hollywood practically burst into applause, with celebrities rushing to endorse his impassioned speech. Meanwhile, conservatives? Oh boy. Their meltdown made the Great Ice Cream Cone fiasco of 2010 look like a minor inconvenience. Fox News went into full-blown panic mode, anchors practically frothing at the mouth like rabid chihuahuas on espresso. They dusted off the classic Hollywood elites poisoning America routine, the go-to line when there's nothing else to say. MAGA Twitter was at DEFCON 1. Ban this guy from all platforms. Ironically, half of them probably own Meet the Parents on DVD. Critics slammed De Niro for being out of touch. "Don't tell people that, you idiot. It'll just make more people vote for Trump." They argued he wasn't persuading anyone, just coming off as a condescending, scolding liberal, the very thing that drives people crazy. And the best part? The attempts to take him down were laughably weak. "Washed-up actor seeks attention," they cried, which is hilarious considering he could outact half of Hollywood's younger stars with a nap and a cup of tea. "Stick to movies, buddy," they jeered, as if only reality TV hosts are allowed to have political opinions. As a last-ditch effort, they tried digging into his past films for a gotcha moment. The worst they could find? Rocky and Bullwinkle. Oh yes, truly the defining failure of his career. De Niro, unfazed, doubled down. This guy should not be president, period. And as expected, Fox News and its pundits went after him, just like they did when he dropped F-bombs at the Tonys. But in the end, nothing changed. The battle lines were already drawn, the outrage machine kept spinning, and the internet moved on, until the next viral moment.